Welcome back. This is In Focus. Poaching, disease and loss of habitat threaten the existence of Africa's famed gorillas. VOA's Rebecca Ward reports the United Nations Environmental Programme says the threat is even greater than previously thought.
Imagine Africa's Congo without these gentle giants. By the mid-2020s, a new UN and Interpol report says gorillas may have largely disappeared from the forest of the Congo Basin. Amy Frankel is a regional director of the UN Environmental Program.
We had done a report back in 2002, which already was fairly grim in terms of the predictions of potential extinction, but that is unfortunately very much trumped by the recent findings, which are that between, I'd say, less than 10 to 15 years out from now, we could see extinction in large ranges of this species.
The report says much of the threat to gorillas is linked to militias and the ongoing fighting in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo.
The biggest cause is an increase in illegal logging and harvesting of minerals in the area, which in many cases are being used to directly finance militias. As you know, it's a very war-torn area, and there is in fact a UN peacekeeping force there.
Frankel says the illegal activity also includes killing gorillas for bushmeat to feed the loggers and militia. But the gorillas also face perhaps a more dangerous foe than man, a deadly disease that has wiped out entire populations of gorillas.
If I had to rank them in what is now at the present the most immediate threat, Ebola would be number one.
Allard Bloom with the World Wildlife Fund Conservation Group, or WWF, has worked extensively in the region.
It's very devastating to both gorillas and humans and gets transmitted between the species. So that is actually at the moment really wiping out a lot of gorillas in the areas where they're most protected at the moment. The biggest populations get hit by this virus, and it's basically almost 100% mortality rate in gorillas.
Bloom says several Ebola vaccines for humans are in development, which may also prevent the disease in apes. The UNEP Interpol report contains several recommendations to counter the threat to gorillas. One key element, says Amy Frankel, is to stem the economic benefit of the illegal trade inside and outside of Africa.
And that is something we've been working on with countries in many different aspects of environmental crime. But in this case, it's training law enforcement officials and park rangers and deploying and giving them the resources. I mean, it's truly a war, and they need to be well equipped.
Allard Bloom of the WWF agrees with the report's recommendations. He adds that it's important to work with logging companies to help stem the illegal bushmeat trade. And on that front, he says there is some good news.
Have made major progress with. There's now over 5 million hectares of forest are now FSC certified. And I can tell you from personal experience, I mean, 10, 15 years ago, most logging companies were extremely hostile towards conservation organizations. We were seen as the enemy. And that has dramatically changed.
The UNEP Interpol report was presented at a recent meeting of the Convention on the International Trade in Endangered Species, or CITES. I'm VOA's Rebecca Ward in Washington.